Okay, let's jump right in. Today, we're doing a deep dive into one of racing's really fascinating contradictions. We're talking about Mihono Bourbon.
Ah, yes, the Japanese racehorse from the early 90s.
Exactly. Known as the cyborg, his dominance was just, well, mechanical. Almost unreal.
It's a great story for a deep dive because you have these two sides, right? You've got the engineering, the intense training, this unbelievable, undefeated streak.
Total precision.
Total precision. But then set against that, you have this moment where it all breaks down. And what comes through is, well, something deeply emotional, fierce.
So our mission today is figuring out how this horse, and he was bought for what, basically peanuts in breeding terms?
Pretty much, yeah.
How did he just blow past his humble origins, his pedigree, to become this Triple Crown contender? And maybe more importantly, what did we all learn when the machine, finally faltered?
And you have to start with those origins, that humility. He was a strong-looking bay colt, sure, but nobody expected greatness.
His pedigree didn't scream, classic winner, did it? Magnitude out of Katsumi Echo.
Right. It suggested sprinter. Speed, definitely. But the kind of stamina needed for those big Japanese classic races, not really there on paper.
And the price tag, just 7 million yen, that's really not much in that world.
No, it's tiny. So you've got a cheap horse, not much fancy lineage, and everyone thought, well, he probably doesn't have the staying power.
But then comes the making of the machine, the training.
And this is where trainer Tomeo Toyama comes in, a key figure. His philosophy was, let's say, intense.
Uncompromising.
That's the word.
Yeah.
He truly believed horses needed relentless, almost brutal training to handle top-level racing pressure. It wasn't just about speed. It was about absolute grinding endurance.
You hear his methods called Spartan. That sounds pretty extreme, pushing an animal that hard. Did he get pushback for that against the more, maybe, traditional way?
Oh, absolutely. He definitely ruffled some feathers. But Toyama was an innovator, you see. He was one of the very first trainers to go all in on using the brand new uphill course at the Redo Training Center.
Redo, okay.
And this wasn't just some gentle slope. It was a modern, seriously demanding track designed to build muscle and lung capacity way beyond what flat training could do.
So he takes this horse, who should be a sprinter, throws him into this monster training regime. And you could actually see the difference, right? The descriptions of Bourbon's body are amazing.
They are. Sources always mention his steel-like body. You look at photos, and his hindquarters are just massive, bulging with muscle. That was the engine.
Power source.
Exactly. But the cyborg nickname wasn't just about the muscles. It was his attitude, too.
Right. It wasn't just the physical build. It was the mindset, the discipline.
Precisely. Bourbon was incredibly tough, yes. But also, remarkably, he was obedient, patient. He just took the punishment, the hard sessions, willingly.
Never fought it.
Never seemed to. He just did the work.
Yeah.
Almost robotically. That's where the mechanical comparison really came from. He ran like he was following a program.
And that precision, you saw it right from the start, didn't you? His debut as a 2-year-old, September, Sadahiro Kojima writing. Even then, you saw that mix of machine and something else.
That first race, his maiden race, is such a great little story. He completely missed the start. Like, badly.
Which is usually race over, right?
Yeah.
Especially in Japan.
Oh, yeah. Give up that much ground early, you're typically finished.
Yeah.
But Bourbon didn't seem to bother him. He just powered back, made it the ground, and still won.
Wow.
It's like a little big preview of the engine inside.
Yeah.
Just relentless, wouldn't stop.
So after that initial blip, the program kind of clicked into place and the winning streak began.
It did. His 3-year-old season was just pure dominance. Every race, pretty much the same tactic.
Straight to the front.
Straight to the front, set a pace, and it was so even, so precise. It didn't look like leading, it looked like he was pacing against a clock.
Mechanical.
Running like clockwork. And this style, wire to wire, just racked up the wins, proving Toyama's conditioning worked right. It built the stamina his breeding maybe lacked. Absolutely. He took the spring stakes, then his first classic, the Satsuki Sho, the Japanese 2000 Guineas, a huge win.
Massive. And then the big one, the Japanese Derby. Same style.
Same style, wire to wire again. And you have to think about what that Derby win meant. It's the benchmark for a horse expected to be a sprinter to win the Derby like that, through sheer front-running power and conditioning. It showed the training had essentially made him a champion, overcoming nature almost.
Then add the Kyoto Shimbun High to that list. So heading into the final leg of the Triple Crown, the Kikuka Sho, he's undefeated, 7 for 7.
The machine looked unstoppable, one race away from immortality. The Triple Crown. Stakes couldn't be higher.
But racing history isn't usually that tidy, is it?
Rarely. And now we get to the Kikuka Sho, the Japanese St. Leger. And this is where the engineered perfection faces its biggest challenge.
The distance. 3,000 meters, that's just a brutal test of stamina. It's designed to find any weakness, isn't it? Especially for frontrunners.
Exactly. It's a long, tough race. For a horse like Bourbon, whose whole game was precise front-running speed, running 3,000 meters that way, it goes against all traditional wisdom for distance racing. Physics says it should just burn you out, especially if your breeding leans towards sprinting.
But he was perfect up to that point. The conditioning seemed flawless. He must have been the massive favorite. Everyone expected the machine to deliver again.
Overwhelming favorite, yes. But the machine didn't just face the distance. It faced a tactical curveball, something that upset the whole rhythm.
What happened?
What's interesting is the challenge didn't come late from a closer. It came early. Another frontrunner, Kyoei Bogun, decided to take him on.
So Bogun wouldn't let Bourbon just settle into that comfortable clockwork rhythm.
Exactly. It forced a battle for the lead early on. Suddenly, the cyborg wasn't just running his programmed race. He had to react, to fight. He had to deviate from the plan.
And over 3,000 meters, that deviation, it cost him.
It proved fatal to the win streak. Coming down that long Kyoto home stretch, the engine finally, visibly, sputtered. He got past.
Oh, wow.
Not just by one horse, but two. First Reischauer, who went on to win. And then Matakantanhauser passed him too. The perfect record was gone, just like that.
That must have been stunning for everyone watching. The unbeatable machine. Broken. But this is where the story takes that crucial turn, isn't it? The failure revealed something else.
It really did. It asked that question. When the perfection is gone, what's left underneath? And what was left wasn't mechanical at all. It was pure competitive fire.
He'd lost the lead, lost the race, but didn't just fade.
No. He refused to give up second place to Tannhäuser. You have to picture it. He's exhausted, running on fumes, the conditioning pushed past its limit.
And yet
he dug back in. He fought back, repassed Tannhäuser right near the finish to secure second. It wasn't calculated. It was raw will, furious will.
The sprinter turned robot, turned fighter, he just hated losing.
Absolutely hated it. And honestly, that moment probably cemented his legend more than the 7 wins did. It showed that underneath all the training, all the engineering, was this incredible heart that just refused to quit.
That fight for second place, incredible.
And that race really defined a great rivalry too. Bourbon and Reischauer, they'd met 5 times, starting from the spring stakes. Bourbon won the first 4, asserting dominance. But Reischauer got him in the biggest one, when the pressure and the distance were at their absolute peak.
It's almost poetic, but also quite sad, because that huge effort in the Kikuka Sho, that was it, wasn't it? His last race.
It was. The intense training, maybe it kept injuries suppressed, but after that race, they started to show. He tried to mount a comeback, but the body just couldn't take another campaign at that level.
And then the other blow.
Yeah, compounding the sadness, his trainer, Tameo Toyama, the man who bit the cyborg, he passed away from cancer the next year.
So the horse's body was failing, his trainer was gone.
It was the end of the road for his racing career. He never ran again. Finished with a short but incredibly impactful record. 8 starts, 7 wins, 1 second.
He went off to stud, lived a much calmer life until 2012, I believe. And it's such a strange image, isn't it? This fierce cyborg becoming so docile in retirement.
Completely. Reports say he was calm, patient, so gentle that apparently celebrities could sit on his back no problem. A total contrast to his racing persona. He lived a good long life, passed away in 2017, aged 28.
So when we look back, the show what's of this deep dive, Bourbon's legacy feels really clear, doesn't it?
I think so. He's this perfect symbol of how innovative, intense training could potentially rewrite genetic destiny, you know? He showed that modern methods could take a cheap horse, overcome pedigree limitations, and build a classic champion. Effort could, quite literally, trump breeding in his case.
People respected that consistency, that 7-race machine-like dominance. He was the perfect plan, perfectly executed.
For sure. But the reason he's legendary, the reason we're still talking about him, comes back to that one defeat.
The Kikuka Sho.
Yeah. When the machine broke, we saw the truth underneath. Fans saw the robot transform into this incredibly raw competitor, fighting for second place purely out of, well, desire, not programming.
It's the ultimate racing story, isn't it? The low-cost horse engineered into a champion, whose only loss revealed the true depth of his heart.
Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe for more. Check out our other videos for more stories you might enjoy.